Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Female Filmmakers Fuse with Alexa Polar, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, thank you for joining us. This is Alexa Polar. This is Female Filmmakers Fuse. Sorry about that, I'm super tired. I'm your host, Alexa Polar. Robin Pabello is usually my co-host. She's on location filming. I was just there. I stepped away, but I have our producer here, Kathy Dang.
Hi, I'm filling in for Robin today, so nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, Kathy. And today our special guest is Skyler. Look at that. See, I was so afraid of messing this up. Barrett.
There you go.
All right. So you can come in closer. For anyone that wants to call in, it's 818-602-4929. Again, that's 818-602-4929. You can catch us live here via LA Talk Radio on their website, or you can always find us on any of your favorite podcast streaming services like iTunes or Google Play, just for an example. We also post these on YouTube. Just look for Female Filmmakers Fuse. It makes it easier to share once it's up. So like for social media purposes and whatnot. So Skyler.
Yes. I love your podcast, by the way.
Thank you.
I spent Friday, I think I had listened to Sophia's episode.
Uh-huh.
And it was really interesting, and then I kind of fell behind, so I listened to them all on Friday, and they're so interesting.
Oh, thank you.
It's so cool what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now, little behind Skyler. I met you, it's going to be 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's your
in October, the Female Filmmakers Fuse Festival, which takes place in October. This coming October is going to be the second annual one.
So excited.
And you were there last year, and your web series won Best Web Series.
It did.
Congratulations.
Name of the series.
Reckless Juliets.
And we could find it where?
You can find it on recklessjulietstv.com. There's a link to the Vimeo On Demand site. So yeah, we started it on YouTube, but then I moved into Vimeo. So we're there now.
Awesome. Yeah, it's such a great web series. Are you guys still going on its season 2, or did you just get the one?
We are on a hiatus right now.
Okay.
So basically I got really ambitious with the last 2 episodes, 6 and 7. We did 20-minute episodes, and we ran out of money.
Okay.
As usually happens with web series.
Right.
It's really hard to fund those. So right now I'm actually working on a full-length pilot to pitch to streaming services.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a great web series.
Thank you.
I loved it. No wonder it won, honestly. Anyone that's listening, I highly suggest you go check it out. Anyone that is looking for something like that to distribute, I highly recommend you contact Skyler, because honestly, I watched it and I don't understand why it's a web series. It needs to be out there, honestly.
It actually started out, okay, so this is it's a long story kind of, so I'll try to shorten it. I started out as a playwright.
Okay.
I love writing plays, and it started out as a play about 3 teenage girls having a sleepover, and they wake up to one of their friends climbing through the window. She has broken out of a hospital.
Oh.
Carmody's character.
Okay, yeah.
Carmody is our main character in the web series, but in the play, she had escaped from a hospital that her parents had put her in.
Okay.
Because they think she's mentally ill, like her sister.
Gotcha.
Who has killed herself 2 years before. So yeah, I realized that I was in the wrong city. As stupid as that sounds, I moved here in late 2007 to go to film school, and I'm like, hey, I have this play that I wrote a year ago about teenagers, and one of the instructors is like,
you're not New York.
You're not New York or Chicago, who cares? Nobody's gonna care. So I started writing a short film because I just wanted to tell the story. It meant so much to me, just the story about these sisters. One of them had killed themselves. They had committed suicide. She had dealt with being bipolar all her life. And I just wanted to tell the story about these sisters and just the sisters' friends. That's what I wanted to tell. And the short film, it kind of didn't translate into a short film. And then Breaking Bad had its big moment while I was in school, and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever seen the show, but
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
And I was like, television is where it's at, you know, and I wasn't really excited by film at that time. This was like, I think a year before Black Swan came out. It just, there was nothing for women, like
Right.
at all.
Right.
And Breaking Bad isn't really for women, but it's for everyone, I think. And it
Yeah.
just really excited me because it was on AMC.
Yeah.
It wasn't on HBO or Showtime. It was on AMC. And
Right.
they were doing this stuff on basic cable. I was like, this could be a TV show. So I started writing the pilot, and I was like, I don't want to wait for someone to give me permission
Right.
to put this on television.
No, that's
So
great.
I was like, I'm just going to put it on the web, and that was early 2016. And I said, I'm only going to hire female directors. I made that decision, and everybody thought I was crazy. They were like, "That's sexist," da 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 da. You know, and I was like, I don't care.
Right. There's a purpose though behind
There
it.
is. I wanted it to be. I wanted it. It has that pulse. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a pulse to it.
No, I
It's
totally get
about
it.
Women, and I was like, I want women behind this. That's what I want.
It's like I don't think Wonder Woman would look or translate the same way if a man were to direct that.
I agree. I mean, that was proven. Like, you know, if you saw, what was it? You know, the Amazonian women
Yes.
in that movie, like their costumes
Yes.
were completely different in Wonder Woman than they were in the other film that the Amazonian women were.
Exactly.
Batman,
Yeah.
the stupid Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, you can totally see
Yeah.
male gaze exists in this film. It doesn't exist in Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
And there's a reason for that.
Exactly.
So that was interesting.
And that's what some people don't understand is that there's a reason why. It's not being sexist. It's just there's a reason why you want to hire certain people. Because of the visual. Now, if there was a man that can capture that, and I'm sure there are, and you've seen their work, and you're like, I like that director, then obviously he can capture it with that vision.
Yeah.
You know,
I
so
agree.
that's what that is. You know, you want the vision, you want the story to be told in a certain way. So that totally makes sense. Now, just before we go any further, you're a writer director.
I am.
You also edit. You're like, holy hell, too many
Well, I had
hats.
to
Let me
learn-
look.
I had to learn how to do everything.
Right.
Because we would run out of money constantly.
Yeah.
And I was a screenwriting editing major in college. So I was just like, you know what? Somebody got a hold of the footage for the pilot, and he cut it. Male gaze all the way.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like from a male's perspective, and I could tell as a conscientious objector, just like sitting there watching it, I'm like, this isn't what I made.
No, I know. I totally get it. But you also do something that's interesting, which is you're a casting director
I am.
as well.
I am.
Okay. And I think that's great. And I'm glad that you're here because I have a question regarding casting. Okay. And anyone, again, if you have any questions or anything, you can always call in. But there was something that happened not too long ago where this casting director told an actress, change your look Latin. Tell people you have a lot, like change your name, change your look, pretend you're Latin, and you'll get more parts.
An acting teacher did that too. I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's wrong, first of all. I would never even conceive of telling an actress to do that. I would never even conceive of telling an actress to change her look at all, because I think that we should have more unique looks anyway. I don't think that everyone should be a size 0. I don't think that everybody should have a perfect bone structure or a perfect body.
Right.
Or like that. I don't know. I would never say that. That's so offensive. It's just something that I would never do.
Right.
I don't know what I would do in the moment if I overheard something like that, because I have heard really disgusting things come out of casting directors' mouths when I've been interning for them, because I interned for casting directors all throughout all throughout college for like 2 years, so I've heard everything. I was in the office for Grey's Anatomy. I was in the office when they were doing Step Up 3 and Warm Bodies, the zombie film, at The Young and the Restless, the soap opera of all things.
Right.
So I've heard everything, and it actually molded the casting director that I am now as a freelance casting director, because I try to encourage women. I try to bring in all types of actresses, all ethnicities, all types. Even if the director doesn't specifically ask for that, I just bring them in, because you need to see everybody. There's not enough representation of Hispanic women in the industry anyway, or Asian women. I mean, gosh, you know what I mean? It's just, I love that Crazy Rich Asians is it's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait either. You know,
Yeah.
I love Constance Wu, and I mean,
She's amazing.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm so glad that we're getting to see all of these different perspectives. It's important.
I think the next thing too, and I don't know how quickly of a change this will happen, is seeing women or men in general the way they are. I've noticed as a director, and I'm directing this project right now, and a lot of the times the talents get super self-conscious and they're like, oh God, let's do that again. Or, you know, like, I don't look right or whatever. And not in particular, I'm not saying that happened on this project that I'm working on now. I'm just saying that I've noticed it. And there's times where if I'm directing it, I don't want you to look great for a reason, because of whatever's happening at that time in the project, in the film. You don't have to look movie star, because we're not in that time era. We're in real time. Like, we don't have to gloss things over and make things and pretend and show something that's not real, because we have to think of our viewers as well, because that's where we're at in society. That's why we're having so much issues in society, is because we were forced to, you know, watch what is being portrayed. You know what I mean? Like, women are all size zeros. Women are this, men are that. Any man can get any woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
well, it's a fantasy, right?
It's what it is.
It's catered towards men.
Exactly.
Because that's our culture.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to change. And I encountered that a lot on Reckless Juliets, because you see all of these shows like Pretty Little Liars.
Mm-hmm.
It's off the air now, but all of these shows on what is it, Freeform, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All these teenagers, they look like models. They look like they're out of a magazine.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I
That's,
want you
I don't even
guys-
remember high school that way.
I'm like, I want your acne.
Yep.
I want your pimples.
Yes.
I want everything.
Everything.
I want
Everything.
I want imperfect hair. Like, it didn't matter to me what they looked like, but there were a few of them that would say, "Oh God, how do I look? How do I look?"
Yeah.
Like, hair and makeup would be there doing this. And I'm like, I really don't
No,
care.
I don't want that.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me. Those were not the girls that I grew up with.
Exactly.
And this is about the girls that I grew up with.
Yes.
Like, I would actually be okay if they were wearing no makeup.
Yeah.
I almost didn't even have hair and makeup. I was like, I don't want them to look that way.
Yeah.
Like, in episode 6, they were just waking up, and I literally had their hair, my lead's hair in a messy ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't want anything, don't touch her.
Right. And
don't, what?
It's authentic.
It is authentic.
I'm like, don't touch her, because they
absolutely.
just woke up, and they've been drinking the night before.
yeah.
They would
So
not
they're not
look-
going to get up like,
I hate those movies with women where they just wake up and they look beautiful.
yeah.
I'm like,
Full,
they're
full face of makeup.
Yeah.
perfect hair straight.
Eyeliner, everything.
Oh
like,
my
there's no
God.
gook on the side of the
my
eye. Like, what is that? What is that? Is that
I
goop
know.
right there? You know, what's that
Exactly.
stuff there?
Yeah.
You know?
I even got mad because in the pilot, there's a shot of my lead. Her face is right to the camera, and she's waking up, and you could see eyeliner on her. But I didn't get upset because my hair and makeup was like, well, it was faded because maybe she was out the night before. And I'm like, that's fine, but shit, she had eyeliner on.
Yeah.
Why did she have eyeliner on?
Yeah.
So the more makeup there is, the angrier I get.
Yeah. Yeah, see, and that's what I mean.
I'm very angry.
And that's what I mean. And I'm noticing it because I know a couple of towns where they get nervous and they're like, I was told, like, Hollywood stops hiring women after this age. I'm like, that's not me.
Oh my God.
That's not me. That's not at all what we want.
Just crap.
So much.
Seriously, and that's the other thing. I mean, I love that all of these films about older women are coming out. Like, what was the film that just came out?
The Book Club.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I'm going to, and I love those women. Like,
Yep.
you know, I think that we should see all women in all walks of life.
As they are.
Exactly.
As they are.
Yeah.
You know, because, like, I want to watch it and say, like, yeah, that totally relatable.
Yeah.
Because I don't look anything like anyone that I see on TV. Or and like what you said, you made a good point of, like, the whole high school thing. I watching stuff, I'm like, man, did high school change? Because that's not the high school I went to. Like, has it been? I know, like, I'm 41, and I'm looking at stuff, and I'm like,
Are you?
Yeah.
You don't look 41.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm 41.
Yeah. Most people think I'm like 18, but I'm like 32.
Yeah, you don't look 32 at all. I could see 18.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get people, like, I'm watching stuff and I'm like, has it been that long? Like, has high school evolved that much where, like, these kids have six packs and these girls, like, have the perfect figure and, like, you know, they can wear stuff off the rack. Like, what the hell? I don't remember.
There are a group of girls, like my little cousins, they're in high school, and it's like they have the pressure to wear full face makeup because makeup is so big right now due to YouTube tutorials.
Oh my God, the tutorials on
the highlight, the contour,
everything.
Like wanting to be on a reality show.
Oh my God.
Rainbow. I mean, it looks beautiful, but who has time for that?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work.
I saw this commercial. Well, I didn't see it. I fell asleep with my TV on. And I'm so sorry to anyone that's going to get offended by this, but I fell asleep to my TV on, and I woke up because I heard what someone sounded like the Kardashians. I was like, what the hell? Like, who put my channel on that? Like, I do not watch that. Like, no offense to anyone that does, but I was just like, why am I watching the Kardashians? So I woke up like an alarm, like immediately, let me turn this off. Like, let me change the channel. And it was a commercial, and they were talking like the Kardashians, and I was just like, that's a thing now.
That's
like,
what sells.
that's what sells. They're trying to be like them, and influencers. That's what.
There is a character, like Chloe's character on the show is very much like that. And she's based on girls that I knew that were like that, even when I was going to school.
Right.
So it did happen, but I just wasn't friends with people who did that.
Right.
You know what I mean? We were just like, whatever.
I mean, yeah, I know it exists, but that's
yeah.
the reason why it does, is that sometimes they can't even have their own personality because they're thinking that's the personality guys want. That's what's popular. That's what's going to make me have 1 million followers or whatever, because everyone wants that. Everyone wants that social media stuff.
Well, the followers thing has even like trickled into casting, because I've gotten a lot I've gotten a lot of requests, and they're like, hey, can you cast this web series, but we only need people with 500,000 followers or more. We can't have any less, because that's how we're going to get money.
No, you know what? And I get it.
Role in your decision.
Like, no,
it is. You know what's weird is like so the project I'm working on right now, I have some people that are saying like they're totally considering for distribution, and I'm like, that's awesome. And my lead has a good following, but that's not why she was in it or casted.
Of course,
it was because of her talent. She is super talented. I have another actress that's also in it, super talented, and she just got on Instagram. So it's obviously not because of her followers, but they were really adamant about like, who do you have that has strong followers? And this is coming from the distribution company. They're coming from the other side, and I'm like,
but
so I do have some people that have the followers, but that played a small part. It's one of those things where I had to bend a little just because I had to look at the business aspect of it. But I didn't want that to like make it or break it for the project. You know, I just made it one of those things like, okay, fine, I'm going to cast based on this. And if they have the followers that they want, that's a plus. But I'm not basing it just on the followers.
Yeah, it's very rare that you find somebody with a huge Instagram base, like a huge follower base, who's also like enormously talented. So if you do find those two things, that's amazing.
I can tell you that I'll give you his name. I can't say his last name. I suck at last names. His name is Travis, but he is super talented. Has very charismatic. He's such a nice guy, and God, I don't want to say like you'd be surprised like how talented he is, but I was kind of like, okay, cool, like he can act
not
like
a pretty face.
Yeah.
No, he is. But my point is like he has all of that. He has the followers, he has that, but he also has the talent to match. And then the thing is that amazes me is that he just started. Like he started like 4 or 5 months ago. So I'm just like, whoa, like really? Because I could tell, but not that. Like, I feel like you still are good for someone that just started, like acting wise.
I mean, I try not to be too jaded by it, because I think that that's where the industry is going.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I just wish that a lot of these kids who had all of these followers who were getting into acting, going from influencing to acting, would actually go to school and learn the craft and not just come in.
I can't stand the, God, I shouldn't say this, but the YouTubers.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's a thing, you know? And somebody had told me to do that for Reckless Juliet's, because it was just getting really, really huge, the influencers in early 2016. And I said, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I need real actors. I need people who have gone to school, who have learned the craft, who can have a theater background, who can improvise.
Yep.
You know, don't put me in a room with someone who can't improvise, please, because that turns me off completely.
I think I'm hoping But I've noticed a slight shift where people are starting to realize, like, for the majority of it, some YouTubers just don't have that. They're just literally kids with a camera doing pranks.
Well, it's getting more competitive.
Yeah.
I think it's becoming a more competitive space because it is a business.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize how much money these kids are
It's
making.
insane.
How much money, like, they're supporting their...
kid made $11 million last year unboxing his toys.
Yeah. They're supporting their families.
How much?
It's
he was
crazy.
9?
A 9-year-old boy.
Crazy.
Made $11 million last year unboxing toys. It's my nephew's favorite channel to watch. All he does is just open up toys all day long and describe.
Where does he get the toys?
From his? They're probably sponsored. No.
They probably are though. It gets to that point where I'm pretty sure. Yeah, if that's what he's doing.
A number of views.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's insane.
And advertising and sponsorship.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what that is. But there's a huge difference between that and someone that can actually perform.
Yeah. A big difference. Big difference.
There's a huge difference. Now, where are you originally from? Because you said you came here to film school.
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta.
Oh.
So I'm from like
ATL.
an hour.
Well,
I'm from like an hour outside of Atlanta. I don't have an accent because my mom didn't have an accent, so I sort of grew up around.
Okay. That
no
makes
accent.
sense.
But yeah, so
filming is huge in Atlanta.
It wasn't when I left.
Okay.
It sort of started a year after I left. Like, they literally built a movie studio a mile from my house in Hiram, Georgia, that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to move back there.
No.
It's a nice place. I like it. But LA is cool.
Yeah.
I like it here.
Yeah.
So,
I like it here too.
Yeah.
I don't mind traveling. I just I'm so in the comfort of my home.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, so from Atlanta, and what got you into
movies?
Yes.
I love movies from a very early age.
Okay.
TV, like, I love Dawson's Creek and all of those TV shows, and I would just write scripts for the shows that I was watching.
Oh, that's...
Just, I wasn't going to sell them or anything. I was 15.
Wow.
But yeah, I was writing stories when I was really young. But yeah, it was always from the writing perspective, not from the directing perspective.
Right.
Even when I went to school, I was not confident enough to be a director. I thought that directors had to tell everyone what to do and be really loud and yell at people all the time.
Okay.
That's just what I thought.
That's what I do. No, I'm kidding.
That's literally what I
Without
thought.
directing.
And then I just, I wrote the script for the show, for Reckless Juliets, and I said, I want to direct this. There's no one else who I would want to direct it. And then I directed 4 episodes and I got burnt out. I was just like, I need to pass this off to someone else because I was writing the episodes, I was producing, I was doing location management, I was editing.
It's a lot.
A lot. And I
As
was
an
hiring
independent,
everybody.
filmmaker, it's so much work.
It is.
So much.
And thankfully, I found these 2 wonderful women to direct episodes 5 and then 6 and a mini-sode, Ming Feng Yang and Upsana Berry. They're wonderful directors, both women of color,
nice.
which I'm really proud of.
That's awesome.
Because that's, as you know, is like a rarity. So I was trying to make
they exist.
Yes, exactly. So I was trying to contribute something. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Is making a contribution, because I feel like if we're stuck in the same place that we were when I started school, which is, I think I had 3 female instructors the whole time. They would have people come in to speak, in production workshop to speak to us and talk about filmmaking. Sometimes they were filmmakers, sometimes they were editors, sometimes they worked at a studio or whatever. We had 2 females, all 4 years that I was there.
Wow.
It was really sad.
Yeah.
And I was, so a lot of the times I was just in a state of annoyance because I felt like, am I going to get work when I leave here?
Yeah.
What am I going to do when I leave here? And I never got any encouragement.
Yeah.
Because there are men working, you know what I mean?
They
can be encouraging too, but it's different when a woman tells you.
Right.
When they've been in the business and they've been through the trenches and, they were working 20 years ago when things were even worse than they are now.
See, oh God, yeah. I mean, I'm glad that there's a shift.
Yes.
It's only ever so slightly. I'm hoping that it evolves into something more. And I'm sure it will, because I can see it. There's more support. It was interesting because for myself, you brought a good point. There's 6 of us in my family. I have 5 brothers. Mm-hmm. That's it. I don't have any sisters. The closest thing to a sister that I have is Robin. And I met her after high school. So, I've known her for over 18 years, and I met her through my cousin that she was dating, right? So everything that I've seen has been that way because of my siblings. The ironic thing is that I come from a very matriarch environment, like from what I've seen, because I have my four aunts, okay, and my mom, and they're very, very, very super strong women. And my dad is super supportive. And my grandfather, before he passed away, was the same way. He was very strict, very supportive, and very equal, okay? And he would tell his son, his only son, because it was the opposite. So it was my mom with her sisters and her one brother. So it was the opposite of what it is with me and my brothers. Yeah, so there's 6 of us. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I didn't really notice how bad it was because of what I was brought up in.
Same here.
You know what I mean? Like, my family, we're totally fine. Like, we respect each other, and my brothers know, like, this is how you have to be with women. This is, you be a gentleman, whatever. Even if they can be jerks sometimes, because who isn't? Sometimes I'm a jerk. But for the most part, like, this is how you are. That's how I was brought up. So when I went into this industry, even though I saw a lot of men, it wasn't something that I was just like, because to me, I went in with a strong mind because of what I was raised in. Does that make sense?
It does. And a similar thing happened to me because my father was not in my life for a lot. I mean, we had like an every other weekend relationship, but it was pretty much my mom and my 2 half sisters. So we were all women in this household. So it was the same way. Like, we were very vocal, very strong women. My grandmother's a very strong woman. My grandfather was the same way. He was very equal. He worked for the police department. He hired women all the time, like in positions of power where no one had ever hired women in Cobb County. Where he was director of public safety.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, he was a wonderful man before he passed away. Right. And so I came out here and it was kind of like shell shock because I went into this school and I was like, and even when like women were in these directing classes directing their films, because we had like 2 or 3 closed sets in this school. So it was like a set, we were all on set. They were even being mansplained too by like the sound guy or the DP. And it's like, why are you telling her where to put the camera? Yeah. Why are you telling her how to direct her film? Yeah,
I've only come across that once, and that was during a seminar or like an open house. I'm not going to mention which company, but it was Robin and I, and they were doing it mainly for DPs, and I want to say the majority were men. And we were looking for a camera, so we went to go check it out and see if this is something we would consider. And when Robin walked up there, they said, anyone have any questions, come on up, talk to us. We'd love to help you guys out, whatever. Guys, right? Help you guys out. So Robin walked up, and I'm observing, and there was 2 other men, but Robin was the first one to walk up there, and she was the only female there. Literally, the person that she walked up to said hello to her and then just glanced over and went straight to the guys that were still like, okay. And then just talked to the men, and Robin was like, okay, and didn't talk to her the rest of the day. Like, that was it. It was just like, oh, hello. Yeah, that's a camera. You can play with it. So, gentlemen, what would you like? And I was like, Robin was like, oh, okay. All right. And I'll never forget that, because I was just like, wow, like, you didn't even ask her if she wanted something. It was kind of like, yeah, play with the camera, play with that toy. Yeah. Like, that's all you're here. Like, it's a Barbie doll or something. Like, it blew my mind. And that was, I want to say that was like 2 years ago, but it blew my mind that that's what I witnessed. And that was the only time I saw that. Cause like I said, because of the upbringing, cause my dad, my mom and my dad been married for, I don't know, 51, 52 years or whatever. So, and they're still together. So it's a very supportive upbringing. Like, my family's super supportive. So I went in, still am headstrong when it comes to that. So even if I see something, I'm the person that will say something, and that's maybe gets me in trouble. But Robin's the same way, where she'll say something too, for the most part, because sometimes she'll be like, it's, I'm just going to do me. Like, if she'll put someone in their place, but for the most part, she's headstrong as well. And Kathy, you as a producer, do you see anything like that? Because I know you dealt with a lot of men, meaning like you've seen it. She's worked in an industry. It
was dominated by men.
Dominated by men.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yes, I have experienced that myself, but I mean, nothing negative towards me. I mean, I've seen it towards other women, but when I was in the industry dominated by all men, I was kind of like on the sidelines, my particular role.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Same here. Yeah. I mean, because like I said, I think that if I had taken more of like a director role in school, which is where I started, I had never been on a set before I got out here. So I think that it maybe would have been towards me, but I was the same way. Like it would have happened on the sidelines, and I'd just be like, "That's not right." But I'm not the kind of person I wasn't then who would say something.
Right.
I'm a really quiet person. I should speak up more, but we all should.
Right. No, absolutely.
In some situations, it's like you get so angry, and you're kind of like like this, and I feel like this, and but yeah, I've seen it happen so many times, and it actually made me want to stay in post-production. And even then, there are not many female editors. Like,
they need someone for post.
We do need someone for post.
Even like Martin Scorsese, he used a female editor for years, and I think from the beginning, and that's something that I've always admired about him.
Absolutely. There's some amazing men in this industry.
Oh yes. We should be talking about them too.
Absolutely. Terry Crews.
Yeah, amazing.
Matt McGorry, is that how
Matthew McGorry.
Matthew. Yeah, I love
Ryan
him.
Murphy's another one.
Yeah, Ryan Murphy.
I love. I mean, I just think that he kind of started the ball rolling with this past season of American Horror Story Cult. He used half female directors. And the show is better than it's ever been, in my opinion, because you could feel the shift.
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Cumberbatch. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Guy. Amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like British men are a little more liberated, a little bit. I don't know what it is. Like, it's just certain men, they're great men, but there are others that ruin it for everyone.
By strong women.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out because there are some good men out there. I work with a lot of them. It's not just so anyone that's listening, this isn't men's bashing at all. No, it's the opposite. I actually look forward to having someone here, a man here on this podcast where, and I know that there's some that would like to do it. A couple of times there have been, please call in, be a guest.
You should have the director that I'm working with now, Raphael, on here. He's extraordinary. I actually am producing I cast his short film Violet about a bisexual sex worker.
Wow.
And it's going to be in black and white. It's shooting at the end of September. Beautiful. I mean, I can't wait to see how this turns out. And he wanted a woman of color in the lead role from the beginning.
Nice.
And it's just a very diverse film. I mean, I can't wait. And I thought that I couldn't believe that a man wrote it. He has a very female-like sensibility about him, because there are a lot of women in his life, and I identify as bisexual myself, so I haven't seen a lot of positive representation of bisexual women in film or on television. Like, they had that show Gypsy on Netflix with Naomi Watts, and they had this character who was bisexual and struggling with that over 40, and I was like, that's amazing. I've never seen that before, and they canceled it after the first season. So I was like,
I got a chance to watch it.
It's good. You should watch it. It's very entertaining, and it's just funny that Hollywood is still so afraid, and they act like they're so progressive.
But you're right. There isn't really any much representation regarding bisexuality
or in men.
I mean, there has been a lot with lesbianism throughout the years, so that's great.
Of course.
I'm only saying it because I just recently watched the latest episode of all the episodes of season 6 of Orange is the New Black.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I feel like bisexual women and men have been left out of the conversation a lot of the time. So I really wanted to be involved with the film because of that. I was like, wow, this is amazing. We have this wonderful Guatemalan actress, Sharon Rodas, who's done 2 or 3 short films, and I can't wait for the world to kind of discover her I did and be so amazed by her because she's so talented and just a wonderful actress, and the rest of our cast is amazing as well. There are men. I'm working with him as well, who's amazing and who's a feminist.
There's a lot. There's a lot of them, and I think that's what's great about it. What are you doing? Because I want to talk about your photography company.
Yeah, okay, cool.
How did you come up with that? What was the reason? How's it going?
So I actually went to a meet and greet for female filmmakers on Facebook. We met at Aroma Cafe in Studio City, and I was talking to a lot of the women there, and they were telling me about their experiences, and a lot of them were negative. A lot of them had been sexually assaulted. They were being really open about that, and I was shocked that they were being so open because I feel like this movement, this Me Too movement, has really opened people up to telling their stories, women and men.
Right.
Men, very important. And a girl had told me that she had been sexually assaulted by a photographer. Not only did he sexually assault her, but he continued to harass her for a year after she had shot with him. And this was her first headshot session.
Wow.
She had just moved here.
Jeez.
And she would block her number. He would find a way to contact her again. Find a way. And all she had gotten was headshots taken. And they were like, yeah, I have to call a friend every time I go to a shoot. And this girl shot like once a week. I'm like, how do you find a friend to take off work to come to a shoot with you because you don't feel safe?
Right.
And I was like, these women are taking so many extra steps to have photos taken of themselves. I had always been interested in photography, and I was looking for a way to contribute to help in this culture shift. So I was like, I'm going to open up my own photography company. I'm only going to photograph women. I'm going to do it all in natural light outside on these really cool backdrops behind my building. It's really cool, like it's just a really eclectic area. And I'm going to do this. And I started it, and I got a lot of pushback from people like DMing me, emailing me, calling me a sexist, cursing me out, all this stuff. It was really hard because, I have to promote myself. So I would post an ad in a Facebook group, and I would get all of this negative feedback from people being like, I'm going to start an all men's company.
No.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start an all men's company.
No, the feedback that you're getting, the negative, was a majority, would you say, was it by men? Was it equally men and women?
Men.
Or?
I mean, I got a few women, but most of them were men, and most of them were photographers.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not going to name any names, but I mean, mostly male photographers because they were threatened.
Okay.
And I was like, do you know how many headshot photographers are in Los Angeles? Like thousands, probably. Yeah. I could lead you to any one of them. Why are you focusing on this? And it's like so much fear. Yeah. It's all based off of fear. But now it's okay. It's kind of died down. Okay. But it's going well. We just opened in May. So, but I'm getting a lot out of it. I'm also on the casting side, so I feel like I know what casting directors want. And I'm also kind of bored with the traditional headshots. Right. So I'm trying to change it up a little bit. And I've gotten really good feedback from agents and managers, and so.
That's good. And what's the name of the company?
Girls Run the World Photography.
Oh.
Yeah. I like that title.
How did you come up with that?
Because it's the truth.
Because we run the world. Because we should be running the world. And we should be running the country.
Quoted by Beyonce.
Well,
Quoted
by Beyonce. Yeah. I'm like stuck on the whole country part. Yeah. That's a scary. Now you and I were on friends on Facebook and Instagram and all that. Yeah. We see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. A lot of things, and it's interesting because I want to say, like, I have very, very few people that are opposed to what I post. Yeah. Like, especially when it comes to politics, and for the most part, they don't say anything, but it's what they post. I'm the person that does comment like, this is crap, like, know. But I mean, I shouldn't say that. I try to understand them, and that's my question. Is like, okay, if I just want to know if you're seeing how things are right now, when do you say that's not okay?
All the time. I used to not, but I think the fact that I'm going to use the word kidnapping because that's what I believe that it is. We're kidnapping children from their parents, and we're leaving them in this country, and we're sending them back to the country that they came from. I think that is deplorable. Like, it's the worst thing that I can think of. Right. I think that when that happened, I just said, F it. I'm just going to say it's wrong. Yeah. It's all wrong. And I don't really care anymore. I don't have a filter when it comes to politics. Same. Because I think that you're either on this side or you're on this side. Right. There's no middle ground. Like, I heard Republicans saying that this is wrong. Yeah. So there are Republicans, I think, now that are on the fence. Thank God. the moral compass is totally off.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes against everything that I believe in. It goes against everything. Like, if I ever said anything racist or homophobic in my household in the South, and we were in the South, my mother would have killed me. I was raised differently than people that were around me, because people were saying the N-word around me. People were saying all of these things, and it's because of the way that they were being raised. You know, so I know that not all people in the South are like
learned
that.
behavior.
Exactly.
It is.
It is. It's learned behavior. Hate is always learned.
Yes.
You know, kids don't have, you know, people
They're not
post.
born with hate.
Yeah. People post all these videos about kids hanging out and they're different races. They don't care.
Yeah.
It's because of what we're teaching them.
Absolutely.
That they care, that they even see it. So I guess the answer to that question is I don't care anymore. If it's not right, I'm going to say it's not right.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Sorry.
I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. And I've noticed, like, quote unquote followers that I have has diminished, and I'm totally fine with it. You know, I'm that person that I'm just, hey, the people that I have in my life are the ones I need. I'm content with that.
I have unfollowed my own family members, some of them, because I just
same.
can't, I can't do it.
To hang out with the friends that I do have.
Exactly. You know, we're always working. I mean,
There's no more time.
There's no
It's
time.
precious.
And I feel like I've lost some friends because I work so hard. I'm such a
They weren't your
workaholic.
true friends to begin with.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Good point.
And you know, a few of my friends aren't even in the industry. They're just normal people that I've met. You know, Crystal Correa is a really good friend of mine. Have you had her on yet?
No.
You should have her on.
No.
She's really cool. We met at the film festivals we were both in with her web series Crystal and my web series, and she's a really cool girl, and she's an artist and a filmmaker, and she's just an amazing human being. And you know, it's people like that I meet that we have like-minded. We're very like-minded. So sometimes I think I can get a little too political. Like, I've had people message me, like, you know, I've had to step away from those people. But I feel like right now we can't be silent. It's not going to...
I don't understand the LeBron James thing. Why are they angry?
He's an idiot. I can't. Like, oh my God. Like,
I don't understand. Like, I'm not okay. First of all, me personally, you know, if I had to choose, I'm not a real fan. You know, like, I grew up in a household where they love basketball, and Lakers.
Same.
Lakers was the house. Like,
I don't watch sports,
right? And you know, and so Lakers was our team, right? And so every now and then I'll follow just to check up, because that's what I remember growing up, and it's kind of like, yeah, go Lakers when they're winning, whatever. So I'm not a true Laker fan. I'm just being honest. But my family, they are, and so. When I heard this whole LeBron James thing, I don't really, you know, seems like a nice guy. I don't know much about him, but when I found out what he did, how he put his money in, how he's forming it, it's just amazing.
It's incredible.
I've heard of people putting schools together, doing little scholarships, but this man is like, I'm going to make sure your future is set, because that's the only way things are going to get better.
Yeah, and he's doing it to make a contribution
exactly
back to our society, to move us forward.
From beginning to end.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get a scholar, you know, when you're done with this school. If you get into college, I'll make sure you have college tuition.
It's amazing.
You know, like, that's insane. Like, and there's more to it than that. If you break it down, if you hear everything that he's doing, it's amazing. Like, now I'm a fan because of this, because I didn't know how, just like, what a philanthropist he is. And because of that, I'm just like, wow, you're just an great overall
also
human.
Funny as hell.
Yeah, I didn't know.
You've seen any of the
train
videos
wreck.
with him? What was that? What was that video where he was like in an interview and he just left? Did you see
I didn't
video
see
where
it.
He just like left and he put his sack down and he just left? I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I saw him on Trainwreck. I thought he was great on that. You know. So yeah, he's just. I didn't really realize what type of person he is, and now I am a fan.
Yeah,
you know,
me
not of the basketball player, of the man. Okay.
I agree.
And so when I'm seeing this stuff where people are saying stick to your game, I'm like, you can't really give the guy.
Well, you
props.
can't do that now. You can't do that now. You have to do more.
You have a platform. He has a platform. You can't be angry.
Yeah, if you have money, if you have kids that are looking up to you. Yeah. If you have kids, especially in disenfranchised communities, someone who doesn't have the opportunity that we have, you need to reach out to those kids because they need help.
Yep.
You know, I mean, they need a lot of help.
Yes.
Because we have someone in office who does not care about them, unfortunately.
Yeah. And
who sees someone like LeBron James who's trying to do something as a threat. So he's acting out like he always does.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is not a political podcast.
No, it's.
But
here's the thing, though. This isn't a political podcast, but a lot of things that happen in life influences our filmmaking, influences our career, who we are. Everything. We talk about everything. Yeah. So
I just finished editing a film about immigrants, about family separation at the border, and I just wrapped 2 days ago, and it's dropping on Facebook. I hope tomorrow. They're having the premiere tonight, and I edited this 7.5 minute short, and it's really amazing. It sort of turns the situation on its head.
Okay.
It's about a Caucasian mother and daughter.
Okay.
And basically there's a zero tolerance policy for all lawbreakers.
Okay.
She's speeding and she gets stopped and the child is taken away from her.
Wow.
And it kind of spoke to me because that's the sentiment that I had when that happened, is these could be our kids.
Yeah.
Please don't look at them as immigrant children. Look at them as our children.
Yeah.
Like, kids are innocent. They didn't do anything wrong. So I just liked what it was saying.
And even sometimes their parents didn't do anything wrong. They're trying to get away from something wrong.
A lot of these women are fleeing domestic violence. That's what a lot in gangs, they're fleeing violent, some kind of violence, physical violence. What are they supposed to do?
Right.
They're trying to protect their kids. They're trying to save their children's lives.
Yeah. It's, as a filmmaker, we understand how difficult it is to ask for help because we're constantly asking for money.
Always.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I try to see it from both sides. So, I don't like asking for money, but sometimes you have to in some shape or form, shape or form. And whether it's money or bartering, which I hope comes back someday soon. Yeah. It's kind of like, hey, if I can borrow your talent, you can borrow mine, whatever you need in return, if it's not monetary.
I've cast for free before.
Yeah.
I've bartered casting services or photography services. I actually did that recently.
Yeah.
For help with that.
So that's my point, is like, we understand it for the most part. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I've seen comments on social media when Hollywood Reporter or Variety will share a story on someone that states an opinion, and I look at the thread, the comments, and it's kind of like, here's liberal Hollywood. And I'm like, it's not that. It's like, we understand because we for the most part, most of us have been there where we're trying to make it. So when we're trying to make it, we come from a very humble beginning for the most part, I want to say, if you weren't, born into this industry. Some people are. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you look at people that are struggling, that are coming to this country. It's not an easy thing to do. You're leaving your life. I'm born in Peru. I was born in Peru, and I've been here since I was 7 months old. I didn't go back to Peru until I was 12.
Yeah.
Right? And when I went there, I didn't know what I was getting into. And when I went there, I fell in love with my country that I didn't know how it existed because I didn't know anything about it. I was a baby. Yeah. And it's one of those things where I see my aunt and my family that's there, and I see my life here. And sometimes they have a better life than I do. Like, they have a nicer house, nicer this, nicer that. And I'm like, man, I wouldn't want to leave that either. The traffic improves pretty horrible. Maybe not as bad as here, but the driving is horrible. Okay. But I'm just saying, like, people don't leave because they just want to leave and think America is everything. People leave out of necessity.
I completely agree. I can't even imagine how frightening it must be for a child to be sent back to a country that they've never even, they don't remember.
Exactly.
It's just,
I wouldn't know what to do.
Me neither.
And there's times where I'm struggling more than my family in Peru are. And if I were to go there, I'd live a nice life, I'm sure. But I can't leave here.
Your work is here.
Exactly. My life is here. Yeah. And so that's why when I can understand, and that's why a lot of people in this industry are opinionated, because we don't know their background. We don't know their story. We just know that they have reasons to it. So they have a platform. They have every right to utilize their opinion and say, hey, I feel this. They could if they want to, whether we agree or disagree with them. That's not liberal. That's just
it's being a human being.
Exactly. Just because they have a platform doesn't make them...
Liberal to me now is just like a buzzword.
Exactly.
It's just like a word, like a Fox News word, where they use that and snowflake, and they use all of these words to describe people. It's just generalizations.
It's the same thing with this whole fake news thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've dealt with fake news personally. before it became a trend.
Yeah.
But to me, fake news was a flaw in the news industry where there wasn't enough time to do what was your research. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing with tabloid journalism.
Exactly. So you're dealing with social media. You're dealing with a different platform now that is very competitive by people that aren't journalists. So people share stories. Everyone has their smartphones. Everyone's recording now. Barely any people are helping anyone else that needs help, that's asking for help. Instead, you have cameras pointed at them.
Yeah.
You know, that's a sad life we're living. It's a sad world we're living in. But you're seeing someone struggling, and all you see is like 10 smartphones pointing to see who's going to go viral on what they capture. I'm just making an example. And so then you have the media that has to compete with those people. Mm-hmm. So they don't have time to check and see what the source of the story is. If it's correct, it's incorrect. Let's make sure we put something that's out there that is a legitimate story. They don't have time. Yeah. So it's kind of like, let's just tell the story before this person goes viral. So that made it seem like fake news. Fake news is a word that this administration is using because they don't agree with the news.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what you say.
Right.
It's like beating your head against a brick wall. I feel like right now there's so much division, and there's nothing that you can say.
Absolutely.
No, you get through to them. It's like they just point at you and say snowflake.
Right. Yeah, I don't agree with you.
I mean,
words.
I think that the one thing that really gets me going, though, are these stories with women coming out about sexual assault or sexual misconduct, something. I mean,
what did you do?
The whole Chris Hardwick thing.
Oh my gosh,
really got me going.
Yeah.
Because I believe that girl.
Yeah.
When she was talking about it, and I mostly believe her because I've been in that situation. I've suffered emotional abuse as a young teenager, as a young girl, from someone in my family, and this is something that went on and it turned physical. So I understand not being able to prove anything because it was behind closed doors. What is she supposed to do? I mean, she didn't have a camera rolling.
Right.
She can't prove anything, and I really believed her, and he just got his job back.
Yeah. No.
And he makes a lot of money.
That's
People
a whole.
don't realize how rich he is. He makes a lot of money.
Right. No, rape culture is a whole nother thing that I'm hoping changes, and I feel like it's going to, but it's not happening as soon as it needs to.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of victim blaming, victim bashing.
Slut shaming.
It's
out of control, and that's when I think that fake news and like the comments are so terrible. God. I mean, they're awful. They're disgusting.
It's time to turn them off.
It is.
It's really, honestly,
that's one of the problems that I have.
And then the trolls that do it just for, to get a rise out. It's just, I don't know. This world is sometimes. It
is. And that's the other reason. That's the other thing I like to do as a director is just like create a safe space for women on sets.
Yes.
And have it be 50-50.
Exactly.
And it doesn't even have to be an all-female crew. I love that. I worked on sets with an all-female crew. It's amazing. But 50-50.
Absolutely.
I mean, why not? Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen a female sound engineer, like a sound person or an electric. The lighting department.
Absolutely. I think Robin started an electric. She was a lady electric.
I heard that.
So we have to wrap up here. I want you back on because we have so much more to talk about. But where can people find you?
So you can find me on Facebook under Skyler Barrett, on Instagram under Harley Quinnisms. I'm not as active on Twitter. Obviously, my web series is RecklessJulietsTV.com.
Perfect.
You can watch all episodes. There's a link there for the Vimeo on demand site.
Highly, highly recommend. Please do.
And I have that other project shooting in September, and then I'm directing one in October. So hopefully I'll have more content to show.
Awesome. And website for your photography company?
It's girlsruntheworldphotography.com. We're also on Instagram.
Excellent. As the same? Cool.
Just the initials, Girls Run the World. So GRTW.
Okay.
Photography.
Gotcha. Perfect. No, that makes sense. Awesome. Highly, highly recommend your photography company. Yes.
Thank you.
Please contact Skyler. Highly recommend. Also, please, Reckless Juliet. So you have to watch it. Honestly, it's really, really good. Honestly, please watch it. Skyler, thank you so much for being here. Kathy, thank you for being my co-host.
Thanks for inviting me.
Okay. Everyone, please have a safe and happy Sunday. I'll see you guys, we'll chat next week.
Okay.
You're listening to Female Filmmakers Fuse with Alexa Poehler, only on LA Talk Radio.